What did we just watch?
The Twilight Zone.
We watched, episode 5, Walking Distance. What was the premise?
A man frazzled by his adult life returns to his old home, childhood home, and gets transported to when he was a kid. And now he's looking at his life as a child.
Yeah, that summer memory of a kid that he wants to relive.
Mm-hmm.
That you can never go home again.
It seems to be a theme in all of these of wanting to live in your past.
Yeah, 16mm Shrine is definitely the same theme as this, just with different characters and different scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe because they are so similar from the last episode, maybe they should have spaced them out a little bit different. Like this should have came maybe 4 episodes later, so that you can't tell the similarities, but they are very similar.
I wonder, did he write these in order? What was he feeling nostalgic when he was writing these?
I'm not sure, but would you want to go back again to a summer when you were a kid?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't really have a good memory, and in general, I don't really remember something so grand that I need to relive again.
Mm-hmm.
You?
Yeah, I remember. There's some good memories there of holidays with my brothers and parents, but would I want to go back?
Okay, so you have a memory of something that's giving you like a good feeling, but if you relive it, will you have that good feeling, or is it just because you remember it that way?
It's probably the memory of it, the memory of that thing, rather than the day-to-day life that you were living back then. Back then it was all school and getting up early and being told what to do. And summer just seemed like endless. You had 4 or 5 weeks to do whatever the hell you wanted. It was. But back then, summers were staying in the house. We didn't have a lot of money, so we'd be in the house watching TV. And it was always what someone else wanted to watch, what my little brother wanted to watch, or my sister. So I'd go downstairs and the only good cable box down there, and they'd be watching the Nickelodeon, Saved by the Bell, or...
Was that what you wanted to watch or what they were watching?
No, it's just what they were watching. So there'd always be the trash that they like to watch.
Didn't you have a show where this is your show that must be? Really?
No.
They didn't let you watch any of your shows?
No. It was always just like, when you were downstairs, you watched what they wanted to watch. So you were watching, Clarissa Explains It All.
Oh, that sounds exactly what you wanted me watching.
Rugrats, stuff like that. And I just didn't care for that stuff. And your parents would be away at work, so you'd go and you'd get a bowl of cereal, more cereal than you normally would. And then you'd go upstairs and lay down, and it's kind of dull thinking back on it. And if I was to go back to that time, I would probably think this is kind of dull. And look at that kid, he looks just bored out of his mind. And why is this time so special, even though it wasn't really that special?
Then why do you hearken back to that? Because like a place you'd want to go back.
Because it would be a time when I can be with my family, all of us together, and you can just be in that environment where, there's no shit that happens in the future or whatever. There's no who you are now. It's just you're all just young and dumb and stupid, and you're just kids again, and you're around your family. It's kind of nice and innocent. would be good to go back to, but at the same time, if I was offered, I wouldn't do it.
So it is like the life of a kid is more idyllic because life just beats the shit out of you. So
Yeah, when you go into high school, that's when the shit starts, I think. Before then, it's in the UK anyway, where I come from, it's all primary school, and it's fun and games and stuff. And then when you go into high school, that's when it starts getting tough. You know, you have to make friends in new circles, and you get acne and bullied, and you're bad at sports, or you're not even that great at school either. So it's just kind of shitty all round. And then you leave that and you get your job and you're just trying to figure things out, and then people you start knowing start dying, and then you start the real work. You start working for a living, and it doesn't really improve too much. So you
this
start,
is it. This
yeah.
is the next 60 years.
You think, when's the last time that I had no responsibilities and it was carefree time? Oh well, probably when I was a kid, teenager, or even before then, before I was a teenager, when I was 9, 10 years old. You asked an interesting question. We were watching this. You said, would you recognise yourself as a kid? Would you?
Like yeah, like you would like if a adult you came back, would you recognize yourself?
If I was in the past and I saw myself,
Like if you were a kid, and then
okay,
your future self came back, like would you recognize
no,
adult you?
no,
Yeah.
I don't think so. You might be a weird deja vu, but I don't think you'd know who you are. What about if you went back and you're you now as an adult? Would you recognise yourself as a kid? You see a kid and go, "That's me. I'm 9 years old."
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't think I would.
Like I don't really have a mental image of me.
I know how I felt back then. I felt awkward and shy and gangly and very inward, closed off to the outside world. So I don't think if I go back there, it would be the kid in the corner who didn't say much.
And then be like, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I recognize me
That
staring
kid,
at the window.
yeah, the kid who's looking at the floor
Yeah.
and doesn't make eye contact, that's me over there. But it would be weird.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be an experience I'd like to have.
I gotta say, his dad, his facial expressions. This is weird. His facial expressions reminded me of like a video game character because I don't know, his
eyebrows.
He had like weird, like the way his face moved looked like a computer.
Like
face.
how they do it in a video game, like in a cutscene.
Like his head was immobile, but like his eyes and his like. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm not explaining. Like
he didn't emote.
He was emoting, but a lot of his face was very like stationary, except for specific areas. Whereas the main character, his face was more like fluid.
The dad was way too cool in the scenario.
Like, yeah.
Like he chases his past self through the merry-go-round. His past self, the little boy, falls off the merry-go-round and damages his knee. And it's so bad an injury that he himself in the future is still getting the old gammy knee. Someone has to ask him, did you get that in the war? He's like, no, I fell off a merry-go-round. You know what would have been cute? If he says, if he looked into the sort of like distant vision, closed eyes, and sort of says, yeah, I fell off a merry-go-round. I was getting chased by some weird guy. If he'd already made a memory of it.
That's what I didn't quite understand. Did he not understand what had just taken place?
I don't think so.
Because it sounded like he wasn't sure what was going on.
Maybe he was in the ice cream parlor the whole time and just imagining it. But then again, he's got the knee injury.
So the Twilight Zone just sort of wiped his memory that he had got back in time.
Yeah, maybe he took a step into the Twilight Zone, and it happens to us all at some point in our lives. Rod Serling comes and picks it up and puts it into the
And you're
Twilight
like,
Zone.
what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, and then you step out and you don't know where you are or what happened.
He seemed a bit confused. He's like,
I would be confused.
Yeah, that would be unsettling.
But his dad took it way too cool, casual. Like, you chased my boy off a merry-go-round and fucked up his knee.
And like came to the house and like
grabbed my wife.
Yeah, he just stood there with his wife was being accosted by a stranger.
And he looks at the ID and the money. He's like, yes, you are Martin Sloan. You are my son, and I can't really explain it.
And his face, I don't know, there's something weird with his face. He looked like a video game animated character.
Kind of looked like Planet of the Apes with the ape makeup on.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius.
Do. I had a friend of mine, and we were both maybe 13 years old at the time. And he would come to my house every day and bother me. And he said one time that he was on the bus and an older person came up to him and had started him a conversation with him. And the older person said, it was a guy older than him obviously, and he said, I'll see you in the future. And my friend said that it was a strange, just a very bizarre meeting, that he had a strange sense in his stomach about the whole thing. And I says, well, I said at the time, maybe you met your future self, and
creepy.
Your future self is just checking in on you, and you got that sense in your gut that it was off.
Vibes.
Would you go and meet yourself at all and just say, hey, how you doing? What would you say to yourself?
It's like,
because anything you say to yourself might change your future.
Is that the rule?
Well, say if I go to that kid in the corner who's got his head on the floor and he doesn't want to talk to anybody and he's shy and introverted like I was, and I said to him, hey son, get your head up, have some confidence, some self-belief. Maybe those words may have changed my life for not for the better, but maybe for the worse. Maybe I would have been a complete asshole prick. Treated people a wee bit disrespectfully. As you get older, you become more cocky, and you just go off the rails. So maybe any little word of advice, if you're going to back in time and giving yourself a word of advice, maybe that's the wrong thing to do.
So you're saying,
just fucking Star Trek, like, don't interfere. What is the
Prime Directive?
Fucking Prime Directive. Leave them alone. This episode should have been called Prime Directive. Not walking distance. Leave your past where it is.
Yeah, he seems to keep wanting to go back.
This was kind of a sad story because he's got to that stage in his life where he's successful and stuff, but there's something missing, and that thing that's missing is that he's been trying to get where he is, and now that he's got where he is, he's missed how he got there.
And he said he wanted to stop and smell the roses, and like I think he was just stressed out. Like in the beginning, he was all like cranky and honking his horn and running his hands through his hair, all frazzled. So modern life has got to him. He wants to go back to a simpler time
to escape.
But
you can't escape.
You can't go.
You can escape, but you can't go back there.
No, you have to move on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I don't know if there's a lot. Definitely the last episode was about you can't.
Same deal. It was the same deal.
About staying in your past.
Yeah, but told in a very different way, which is still interesting.
That's what I like about this show. I really don't know where any of these episodes are going. Like it seems like some of the movies, they sort of lay out the groundwork of what the movie is going to be. And you kind of get the general idea of how this is going to unfold. These episodes, I have no idea what's going on. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's nice.
That's nice. That's good for me too, because I know it's coming, and there's a couple of crackers coming up in this season, and I'm like, yeah, I'm looking forward to when you see those, and your opinions of those. So, what would you give walking distance? How many miles walking distance would you give this?
I give it 7 miles.
7 miles. Okay,
solid. but
That's solid. I'd give it a six
yeah,
miles out of 10, because I think that it wasn't as gripping as the 16mm Shrine,
yeah, you're right.
and it was I didn't things just weren't really. It was not as tight.
Mhm.
Even the middle of the episode, they go to the trailer and the commercial, and you come back, and then Rod Selling's talking again,
Mm.
almost like he needs to explain to us what's going on again. I'm like, Rod, I don't need you here.
Look at it.
Yeah, and it's kind of clumsy and clunky.
And it's not. I don't know. It's sort of. It's not as emotional or um like a. There just seems to be like a crescendo on like most of these where
There's a moment
there's a
like that last one in 16mm where the mage screams,
yeah
and it's blood curdling,
yeah, it was great.
and nothing like that in this one.
No.
But it was still, it's got its talking.
Okay, I'm revising. I'm 6.5 miles.
Okay, so
'Cause
you're half a mile ahead of me. It'll be kilometers or miles?
well, they probably used miles.
What we use kilometers here,
Yes.
and they use miles.
I'm assuming this is American.
The Americans use miles.
Yeah. They're
Okay.
yeah.
Miles are better, by the way,
Why?
because we used miles in the UK, and they were always easier to understand.
What?
Yeah, I won't even explain it. I'm just going to leave that there.
All right.
So,
You do that.
what did we just watch?
Twilight Zone.
Do 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 do.